Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday live stream. So, just like title and thumbnail suggest, it looks like X Money, or Elon Musk's X Money on the X platform, is rolling out early next month. And surprised, we were betrayed. So, if we take a look at it, this was the post from Elon Musk today. X Money early public access will launch next month. And that's a big thing. Now, everybody was speculating on this, and we were wondering why there was X was getting a money transmitter license across the majority of the United States states. I believe it was now up to over 42. And what it looks like there's going to be the ability to pay for things, to tip people, to send money, to receive money throughout X and the whole platform itself. Essentially, what Elon Musk is trying to do is make this the WeChat of the financial services and social media platforms. And I have to tell you, I applaud it. I thought it was a great move, and this is fantastic. And of course, we all know Elon has dabbled into the crypto space. Not to be remiss, remember he was part of the PayPal mafia that brought that to light. So he understands everything, I think, a little bit about that has to do with payments and remittances and sending and receiving and KYC and AML and all that stuff. I'm sure he does. And it was for that reason, which I was really behind him for, when he would talk about Bitcoin. And he added on to Tesla, and Tesla was able to take Bitcoin for payments of their vehicles. And then, of course, the whole grift with Dogecoin for quite some time, which I got to tell you, fluctuated the price of Dogecoin. And he even talked about how Dogecoin could be a very big thing, actually worked with the developers over at Dogecoin, and it looked like things were going in the right direction. And this looked good. However, as a reminder, as this came out, William Shatner, yes, that William Shatner, Captain Kirk from Star Trek, was actually granted early access. And he states very poignantly, just so we are all clear, X Money is fiat, not crypto. Now, correct me in the comments, but I remember Shatner did something with crypto years ago. So I know people will say, well, who cares what William Shatner says? William Shatner got early access and knows what crypto is, knows how it works. And he's saying, look, it's just gonna be cash. It's actually US dollars backed by a real bank and is FDIC insured up to $250,000. First of all, just so everybody is aware, there are real banks that Kraken will be a part of. They just got their money license through the OCC, or for the reserve. So they're going to have their own real bank. Also, Crypto.com is going to be a real bank per se. I mean, in so many terms. So William says this. I don't want to get into the weeds with that. But of course, I found it quite interesting just reading through the comments of somebody like Silver Crusader says, this has to be a bot account. Why is a 94-year-old pumping funny money for? Look, this is William Shatner, 2.3 million followers, Captain Kirk. He wouldn't lie to us. Just so we're all clear, fiat is created out of thin air. That's very true. US dollar is backed by political promises. That is also true. US dollars are technically backed by nothing. Also, well, that's not true, actually. Just ask all the different countries that have dealt military-wise with the United States. We put a lot into the military. Ask Iran. And this was the good one. Chris Pack says it. But adding a digital asset like Dogecoin would make X Money so much easier. When it expands worldwide, no more currency conversions, because no matter where you are in the world, one Doge equals one Doge. And I got to tell you, I love it. Unfortunately, X Money is going to get rolled out. I'm 99% sure it's not going to have any types of digital assets or crypto. No one has said anything. People have early access to it. So don't get your hopes up when you see this. This is just what's going on. And I say, Elon Musk betrayed us. Look, it comes down to this. He just didn't think it was going to be the right fit for X at this point in time. That doesn't mean he can't move things moving forward or change things moving forward. But at this particular point, even though he talked massively about a specific project and actually took payments for Bitcoin, has decided this is not the direction that X Money is going. And that's okay. This isn't for everybody. That's how it is. However, I really would wish that Elon would actually listen to his followers, listen to the people that are on X. And I'm pretty sure most of us would say, hey, look, at least give us Lightning. At least allow us to transact in Bitcoin with Lightning. If not, maybe, I don't know, some stable coins, because I think that's going to be the next big thing, which will be payments. And that's what people are wanting. Elon Musk is not listening, but I tell you who is, Jack Dorsey. But before we get to that story, just so you know, speaking of stable coins, Bernstein sees 70% upside for Circle, who is the creator of USDC, Jeremy Allaire, the CEO, as stablecoin adoption expands across payments and AI. If you're not familiar, everybody's going to talk about this, so I'm not going to spend too much time. Apparently for microtransactions, you can't do that on Visa and MasterCard. It's 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction fee. You're going to need something like AI to do like, hey, you want to do some kind of API integration? Sure, it's going to be 0.0005. Great, here's the payment. Don't charge me 2.9%. We'll do that on stablecoins like Circle, like Tether. So with this, and I think this is the future because everybody talks about AI now, shares of Circle rose almost 10%. It's pretty good, to close at roughly $112 on Monday, marking their highest level since early November. Bernstein analysts reiterate their bullish case in a Tuesday report, maintaining an outperform rating. Wow. And a $190 price target for Circle, implying roughly 70% upside from Monday's close, which is pretty good. Analysts highlighted accelerating adoption of stablecoins for humans, enterprise, and AI agents. And I just took a look at the price of Circle stock. This is looking pretty good, I got to tell you. In the last 24 hours, I mean, it's peaked up here, 121. Now it's down to 117 today. But check this out. Over 5 days, okay, now we're talking. This looks very nice. We were down low around $100, went up 17 bucks. Hey, this is a stock? Yes, it's Circle, USDC. But then you got to zoom out. And you're like, wow, that's even better. In 1 month, it went from 57 bucks to 100. Wait, you're telling me that in this amount of time, we doubled? Yes, USDC and Circle. Let's zoom out even more. 3 months, not too good. 6 months, okay. Now the story kind of comes through. The same thing that happened with Bitcoin on October 6th also hurt other businesses that are in the crypto space, even though they had nothing really to do with it, although there is some overlap, obviously. They were all the way up 150 bucks. And then, of course, they came down and everything came down. So if you think that Bitcoin and crypto have a pretty good trajectory, maybe USDC would be something to take a look at. And if we take a look at a year, 5 years, and all, you may notice one thing. When this came out here 5 years ago, roughly the same price. So I think, and this is not financial advice, don't say, well, Rob said it's going to be awesome, so I sold my entire life savings and bought Circle. Might be something to look into. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And lastly, the people that listen to their constituents or their customers, Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey is a huge Bitcoin maximalist. Huge. He's even said, I don't even like the whole store of value thing for Bitcoin. It should be peer-to-peer transactions, exactly as I wrote it in the white paper. I'm just kidding. I kind of think that Jack Dorsey is Satoshi, but everybody's against me, so whatever. Jack Dorsey's like, look, even in the white paper, it's peer-to-peer transactions. I don't like the store of value. We have to use it as money. If Bitcoin's not used as money, it is a failure. Even saying that, he says, look, my people, they want to use stable coins. So who am I to say? That's what you want to do. I think you're making a mistake, but we're going to roll that in. And this came in from Coin Bureau. Jack Dorsey confirms Block will support stable coins. Of course, Block used to be called Square. They're all for payment processing. You might see them if you go into, like, I don't know, any restaurants or store in the world. You know, you slide your Visa or MasterCard or something, debit card. That's the payment processor. That is Block now. And they're like, hey, if you want to use stable coins, sure, whatever. We don't care. Dorsey says he doesn't like stable coins, but admitted customer demand pushed Block, Square, to support them despite his view that Bitcoin should be the internet's money. I got to tip my hat to that, because you have somebody who sees things one way and is like, look, that's what I think. You guys think differently. That's what you want. I give it to you. Good for Jack. And I can see that, which leads me to my last point is, if we're going to talk about stable coins, we got to talk about the best. The best. Not that they are the best, you know, out there, but it's just a nice little acronym. The best. B, Binance, BNB. E, Ethereum. S, Solana. And T, for Tron. So if we're looking at the best, these are the ones that I have invested into and I have consolidated into, because I think these are the ones that are going to win out. Why do I think that? It's not me, it's also Visa. I know you guys are sick of this chart, but I'll show it every time because I want to make sure everybody knows. And look, if we're talking about stablecoin transaction volume, it's the best. It's Binance, Tron, Ethereum, Solana, and Base is in there, but we'll see if Base wins out. But that would still be the best, B. Anyhow, again, Binance, Ethereum, Solana, Tron, that's for the count, or that's for the transaction volume. Stablecoin transaction count, what do you got? You got best, BEST, and Polygon slips in there. So, hey, maybe if you're a big Polygon fan, that could work out for you. And of course, if we look over here, like, which are the big ones? It's the best. For USDT and USDC, it's Binance, Solana, Ethereum, Tron. Binance, Ethereum, Solana, Tron. Binance, Ethereum, Solana, Tron. That's what I'm going to go with. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. But these are the ones that I'm going to go with. So anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And then to round this all out with a little scare me news. Audits. Have you ever been audited by the IRS or by your local tax authority? It's awful. Andrew Gordon, been on the show a couple times, legal lawyer, has gone up to the Hill to talk to Congress a couple times now about the appropriate tax ramifications of crypto and digital assets. And he said, look, we just obtained a new form the IRS is sending in crypto audits. It lists 100 plus exchanges, Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, blah, blah, blah. Wow. FTX, Mt. Gox, and self-custody wallets like MetaMask, Ledger, and Trezor. Basically what this means is if you get audited, they're going to make you go back, not just last year, to Mt. Gox days. That's like 2016. Holy smokes. So if taxes scare you like they scare me, I would just recommend two things. One, don't get audited. That's a pretty simple one. And the second thing is use CoinLedger. And this is what I've been using the last about 5 years now. And if you want to simplify things, just use this product. There's a couple of products I like. First of all, you can use this one. It's called the Portfolio Tracker, and it's free. And you just stick in it'll just add you for an API integration into your wallets. Don't worry, it's read-only. They can't hack you. There's a whole different FAQ section on that. So I understand. I'm paranoid too. Using them for 5 years, still look good. Want to do a portfolio tracker? Great. And then when you're ready for the taxes, you just shift it over and send it to your CPA or send it to your tax software, whatever else it is. Or if you're like, you know what? I don't have time for this, or I need some help. You can just go to pricing for tax reports and professional services. Over here, professional services, you can have a done for you type of service or an expert review. It's up to you. Links in the description. Go check that out. And then lastly, I swear to God, this is the last one. Remember, if you don't like to deal with taxes, just put things in a Roth IRA, especially in the United States. I use iTRUST, Roth IRA, tax exempt. You just got to wait till you're like 59 and a half years old, which for me is coming up pretty quickly. And right now, remember, whatever you contribute to, that again is tax exempt, and you can actually contribute 2025 until April 15th. And after that, you can contribute for 2026. If you want to do both, go right ahead. But you have, depending on how old you are, between $7,000 and $8,000 unless you do a backdoor Roth IRA. You do something like that, you got essentially, this is the golden sweet period to actually contribute. iTrust got some pretty good products. And also, I always forget to say this. When you have iTrust for your Roth IRA, for your retirement account, did you know you can stake your crypto and it can give you those rewards, and those are tax exempt? So if you got Ethereum, And if you got Solana, and if you got Polkadot, which I don't know why the heck you'd have that, but sure, if you got Polkadot, you can stake those. Cardano hopefully coming sometime this millennium. We'll see where it comes from. And that's it for today. So look, like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. We talked about is time sensitive. Now let's get into a little Q&A as I promised 5 minutes ago. And we'll go over that. Okay, what does everybody got for me? Yeah, buddy, Coin Ledger. Elon does some things I don't like, but I can speak fluent X. I get shadow banned here on YouTube. That sounds about right. I like Elon too. I mean, I like X. It's unfortunately very addicting, but it's great stuff. And I appreciate that you can get, I mean, some things you don't want to see that are there and it disturbs you, but it's the truth. And of course, oh, like here's my favorite thing today. So today, let's see if I can find it. What I love about Twitter or X is that there's a bunch of false statements that come around. There's just lies. And it's just, you know, essentially like keeps happening. And I can't find it. Oh, here it is right here. Perfect. And you get stuff like this. Like, check this out. So there was this guy from Joe Elder says, don't be lazy, move to Texas, which I got to agree with him. Texas is awesome. Puerto Rico is awesomer, but whatever. This home is just 15 minutes from me in Dallas, and it's $350,000 for 4,000 square feet. So many of your problems will be solved by moving here. Yet you complain about the moving process. And I was looking at this house. I'm like, I've been in real estate for a couple decades, and I'm like, 350,000 outside of Dallas. I just live outside of Houston. I have some businesses in El Paso. I don't think that's 350,000. And I look at this, I'm like, oh hell, no. But I mean, people just lie like crazy. So John Elder, come on. But I love this part here. Readers added context. This house around 1.2 million, and it gives you the listing for the actual house. So you're gonna get liars, but I do like when the liars get exposed, and I love that part for the community notes. So just saying, Joe's right. It's a pretty fun time. Yeah, exactly. Drew says they missed a zero, 350 million. Maybe in Chicago, but in Texas, it's very cheap, very inexpensive. And if you're looking for great property, very low cost, don't come to Puerto Rico. Go to El Paso, Texas. Very, very cheap. Yeah. Zoran says, luckily I'm not American. I would be scared of taxes. Hey, Zoran, I did reach out to Ivan, so I'll get back to you on that question you had. Let's see. IRS added 1099 DA, so they make sure they get their cut. Wonder what the DA stands for. District Attorney. That's a pretty good one. And then, yeah, Ledger's excellent. I like Ledger. I mean, everybody's got their own, like, well, I like this one for this. I like this one for that. This is just the one that I've used, and it's, you know, it steered me in the right direction every single time. And then also my CPA knows it, so it's like I'm stuck in there for life. And it's not like I'm ever going to walk away completely from crypto. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah. Alex says, crypto is so confusing. Yeah, Alex is right. It is confusing. It seems like, well, the bear markets are the same thing. You know, good news doesn't do anything, and bad news really tanks it. And then when we get to the bull market, a little bit of bad news doesn't really matter too much, and just a little bit of bullishness sends everything in the stratosphere. So just right now, Alex, just know that I don't think any amount of good news, unless Bitcoin becomes the world reserve currency, I think it doesn't really matter at this point. Things are just going to keep chopping sideways and keep bleeding lower. But we'll see. I could be wrong. I mean, I hope not. Yep. Simon's making a joke. It's pretty funny. Let's see. That's a larger house than you can get in Florida for that. More like $500,000. Wow. 500,000 in Florida? They can't be in Miami. They can't be in Miami. Maybe Orlando? No, not Orlando. I might have to check out Florida then. All right. What other questions do we have today? Oh, you know what? There was one thing I wanted to show everybody. See if it's still up. Oh, sweet. So, you know what we were talking about with Jack Dorsey and Square? Well, he also has this other great product called the Cash App. That's where I buy all my Bitcoin. And one of the things that I appreciate about Jack, very nice. One of the things I appreciate about Jack is that he's adding stable coins to it. Now check this out. Stop screen. So I don't really do, yeah. I'm going to show you in the Cash App how this works. Check this out. So this is Puerto Rico. And it's going to tell you in the Cash App, it's going to tell you where you can pay with things with Bitcoin. And there's only 2 places, which I got to tell you is a travesty. It's a travesty of justice. There's only 2 places in all of Puerto Rico that I can spend Bitcoin. And one with my friend Steven's place, the San Juan Smokehouse. And then the other one is right down the street, El Sabroso. And the only reason I think El Sabroso actually accepted Bitcoin was because Steven walked down the street and told them, hey, you should probably accept Bitcoin. That's the only reason. Other than that, let's see. Nope. No other place in all of Puerto Rico. How awful is that, right? That's okay. Because if you just went over here to say like, oh, the Dominican Republic, you got plenty of options. I know people are saying, I'm not going to the Dominican Republic. I'm definitely not going to Haiti. Well, let's just go over here to Florida. Now we're talking. Now look at this. You click on this right here. Oh, look, all these different awesome places I can go spend Bitcoin. And why I'm talking about this is because I want you to think about every time that you whip out your Visa or MasterCard debit card. Think about how much the store, the local shop owner, or whatever goods or services that you're buying, just remember that every time you swipe that card, that's 3% that goes right to Visa and MasterCard. And it gets eaten away out of your favorite store, your favorite person, your favorite employee, your favorite product, or whatever else it is. Every single time that happens. So my resolution this year is to start either paying with cash or paying in Bitcoin. Because there's not a melting of it. Imagine this. I go to some, I don't know, the butcher shop. I buy 50 bucks worth of steak. Butcher says, thanks. Now the butcher has to pay for the farmer who actually has, actually gets those great cuts of steak and beef and pork, pays the farmer. But then there's 3% there because the farmer takes debit. Then the farmer goes there and he has to buy grain and feed. So he goes to the store, gets grain and feed, and there's 3% there. So that original $50 is already on like, what, 40 bucks? And then the grain and feed store go, you know what I'd like to have? Probably get a big cut of steak. Then they go to the steak place and they take the 40 bucks that they got, and they give it back to that guy. And guess what? $50, but then it gets away another 3%. So think about that every time you're buying things, and just think about what you could do with Bitcoin. And I know people will say, well, I'm not using my Bitcoin. That's fine. No one wants to use it. But I think I should. I think that's more of what the white paper and Satoshi would have wanted. So yeah, definitely a lot of places. Let's see what else. Is there any in Texas? No, now we're talking. Not as much as you'd think. Let's see. Well. There's 10 in El Paso. Let's see who these are. El Barril, the barrel. Snacks and bars, they take lightning. I'm going to go there. What's this? Oh, I can buy pallets with Bitcoin. All right. You get the point. Papasona, Pelicano. Well, I think I just found my new place I'm going to start drinking at. Anyhow, just a little thing on Cash App you can use. Tell me what you think about that. Would you ever use your Bitcoin for payments? I think to support some people I like, I would. Jeff's here. Yes, Lone Wolf's 100% correct. Spending Bitcoin is not selling Bitcoin. You contribute to the network. Yeah, I don't know where we got off the road with that, but everybody wants to store it. But I get it, because when you store it, it makes it scarce, and no one wants to use it, and then of course the price goes up, and everybody's happy. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start talking about it on the show more. Like, hey, this is how easy it was, or that's how it is, or. But what if you're vegan? Well, then see, you just bypass the butcher shop and go right to the grain feed. And go, hey, I like that grain. Just kidding, Frosty. Let's see. Digital asset D.A.N. I did not know that. Text Pro. So if anyone here has any questions or crypto questions, feel free to ask. Definitely. I didn't know that. That's good. And if you guys want to go over like a refresher with Coin Ledger, I can get David back on here and we can talk about it. I think we should before April. Like we should do this like end of March. Get everybody up and so. Hey, I'll make you guys a deal. I'll get David, the head of Coin Ledger, and I'll have him bring on a lawyer or a CPA or one of the guys that he works with. And you can ask him any questions you want to. I'll do that, but you'd have to promise me that if you're looking for a service, go to Coin Ledger and use that free portfolio tracker. And just to try the interface, to see how it works for you, see what you like, what you don't like. That way I can give feedback when David comes on. If that's a deal, I'll do it. It's not a bad deal, I don't think. Let's see, what else? Rusty Bot's awake. That's good. CBKY, homes in Miami are skyrocketing in price while North Florida is crashing. Huh. That's interesting. How one section is. Let me ask you this. Well, I don't know the area, but well, that would make sense though. Homes in Miami, heavily touristy area, also probably where people with higher net worth are going or have gone. They probably have money to spend. But North Florida, I'm going to guess where not as many people go to. Maybe there's the dichotomy between like the have-a-lots and the have-somes. I don't know. Please have David explain how we can help merchants set up. Is this merchants for, well, you're talking about merchants for taxes. That's a good question. I'll have to ask him that. Get Mark in the show. He's wicked smart CPA. Mark Kohler? Yeah, he's a pretty smart guy. I could ask him. Let's see how he's doing. Digital. I can vouch for Coin Ledger. Cost bases get wild if they made a lot of transactions, a variety of cold, hot, central exchanges and zone exchanges. The less transactions, the easier it is to do taxes. That's for sure. Especially my wallets all over the place. I also manage a friend of mine named Bobby. I manage his wallets, and it's just debauchery, bloodbath. But you got to protect those that are slow. That's how it is for payments. Oh, for payments. Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, the question is, if we're going to set somebody up for payments of Bitcoin, how does that work? Actually, you know what I should do is when I get back, because I've only got 2 places I can come here. When I get back to El Paso, I'll just go to this guy and say, how easy was it to set up, and how do you guys deal with taxable transactions? Because that's another thing, right? So you're not taxed at the moment of sale, because that just goes to your wallet. That's a transfer. There is, of course, what you do with it, with that Bitcoin. So here's a question. You are a bar, and you only sell the best beer that has ever been made, called Keystone Light. Anyhow, so you sell only Keystone Light, and let's say you bought $10,000 worth of Keystone Light, and you sell it off, And it's, you know, for 10,000, you got 10,000 cans because it's $1 a can, but you sell it for $2 because, you know, it's Keystone money. So now, like, you've doubled it, but you have to take away the cost basis for how much you actually had to pay for those cans. And then, of course, you get Bitcoin. And then when you get Bitcoin, then it goes, let's say at that point it was $2 on March, whatever the date is today. And then you actually transfer it into funds or to money at the end of the month, and it's only worth like half of that. Let's just say that I'm right, and things just start to crash. So now you have to depreciate the amount of Bitcoin that you originally got, because when you transferred it into dollars, it actually was less than what the dollar amount was. Plus, you have to take away from any type of business expenses. That'd be a little crazy. But I think that's why CoinLedger would actually work. And I'd like to talk to those guys how they do it. Keystone Light. Don't laugh. It's got me through a lot of problems in my life. When is the Bobby interview coming? When that guy gets out of jail. And gas fee fees is correct. Oil prices are now more volatile than meme coins. Did you guys see this? Like, I don't know if you guys are aware of what's going on with oil prices. I just saw this from the Kobishi letter. The chart of oil prices will be referenced for decades. You just witnessed history. It went from, like it says here, $85. It jumped all the way up to 122, I think it was. And then it went all the way back to 85 bucks. And well, what happened? This happened. Strait of Hormuz. It looks like all the different tankers, they just turned off their transponders, their tracking, and they just got through. Not that they just got through. I think a little personal guarantee from the president of the United States, I think, said, okay, well, we'll give it a shot. And nobody got sunk, so that works out pretty well. So all these different oil tankers are able to go through. Then the market says, oh, okay, it's fine. I got to tell you, the market, I know people will say, well, narrative follows price. Well, sometimes you get a really wacky narrative and the market just goes out of control, just like with oil. Was there any real reason for the price of oil to go up 35, 40% and then drop 35 to 40% in roughly 48 hours? Geopolitical tensions. We'll see. Oh no, VIX is spiking again. Wait, you said Bennett is in jail. He should be in jail, I should say. Some reason, he's still gets out. Good friends love Bush as a beverage. Flavored vodkas are nice from time to time. Yeah, it's also true. Yeah, I just fear. Wow, Natty Ice and Schlitz. I can't talk to you guys anymore. I'm just kidding. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I got to get to do some things tonight, but that is it for this one. Like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe. Also, if you could go to CoinLedger, drop in that portfolio free tracker. I think that would actually help out a lot of people. And let me know what it is or how it works out. That's it for today. Thanks much, everybody. I do appreciate you. Always a fun time. See you guys in the next one.